Wasn't really sure what to expect. Right, it was during a time where, you kind of have to test the waters at even worse than that, the people that had made a jump, they never fared too well. So it was always a risky thing to do because, didn't know what to expect. The guys that had kind of been there, they didn't fare well, not by any fault of their own. It's just that's the way it worked out. So I wasn't sure how I could fall into the same trap. So they made a big deal about it when I first came in. As if it was all crap. So I remember talking to Hunter. I talked to Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. It seemed like my first early days there. It felt like it was going to go somewhere. They kept me off for a number of months. Weren't really doing anything with me at the time. There was no NXT. I feel like if there was, that could have made a big difference because I would have had something to strive for in NXT. But there was no NXT. I wasn't really featured anywhere. Once it came time that they were ready to put me on TV, it just felt like it just fell so flat. They weren't putting any effort into it. To give you an example, Jones and I both went at the same time. We both at the same time, had our meetings at the same time. They view his character. They even went to his hometown in North Carolina and filmed him. Kind of, I don't know if you remember or not, but kind of using him as a from the streets kind of deal.
Right.
It was perfect for him, and Ron did an awesome job with that. It was really good for him. So by the time they debuted him, you knew and liked him. Simple name change, our truth. That's no big deal. He went out. He had the same music, which I understand doesn't happen. That would just happen to be his music. When they debuted me, nobody knew who. Well, they didn't know who Braden Walker was. I think some people would know who I was. They wanted a name change. I can deal with that. I knew that there was a good chance they weren't going to use Wildcat. But the way they presented me out there was just kind of like a bag of crap. There was nothing to give the people a reason to care. And, some of these one-liners they were giving me in vignettes was just ridiculous. It was just a bad combination altogether, man. It's hard to find the words to describe what I saw there. I wasn't impressed. It was a $1 billion company that, they didn't know what the hell they were doing from 1 minute to the next. I remember doing a vignette and having to run to the ring, run to the grill position just to walk out. It was just done so unorganized, and it's hard to believe a company would be like that. But that was my experience. That's what I went through, and I always told myself, no matter what happened, no matter where I went, and I still say this today, even when I'm not full time in the business, like I would never put myself through anything like that. I am so glad that guys like AJ. Ron, I'm so glad they broke the mold. Now Samoa Joe's got a great spot. Bobby and Eric are there now. I'm just glad that the WWE has finally acknowledged the fact there is life before WWE. These guys were stars in other places in the world. And if you acknowledge that, and it just gets over so much better. If I was long-winded,